Good evening, I'm Prarambha Dahal. Let's begin with the main stories. Government ahead in encroaching the riverbanks, roads, parks and stadiums among other structures built by violating criteria resulting in inundation and damages each year. Ruling coalition delays introduction of its common minimum program. Government faces challenges in improving service delivery, reviving economy and generating consensus on amending constitution. Korean Air charging exorbitant fees from Nepali workers, while Nepal Airlines fails to receive flight permit to South Korea. Workers being charged 119,000 rupees for one-way ticket alone. And Iran edged past Sri Lanka in a 5-set thriller at the Kawa Women's Nations League. India humbled the Maldives in straight sets. Nepal to face India tomorrow. Discussions are held on a regular basis for removal of structures built over the encroached river banks. However, talks have never been held regarding the government-built structures encroaching the river banks. Time has come for holding talks on the basis on which the government constructed roads and parks next to the rivers. A clear criteria has been set for the rivers and riverbanks in the Kathmandu Valley. However, issues of inundation have been seen near Bagmati, Bishnumati, Manohara and Nakhu rivers as the government departments have built structures by encroaching the river banks. In reality, these instances are not of inundation but the river claiming its course. Efforts to clear the river banks have been failed because of political pressure and influence. Swollen rivers of the valley inundated the surrounding areas during the recent heavy rainfall. It was actually the rivers flowing in their natural course, and these areas should always be clear. However, with the river banks encroached by the government and the public, the rivers are blamed for the inundation. The high-powered Committee for Integrated Development of the Bagmati Civilization had set the course of Bagmati 12 years ago. Based on the decision of the 173rd board meeting of the committee held in the Nepali month of Jyeshta in 2069 BS, the course was set at 40 meters from Jorpadi Bridge to Gueshwari Bridge, 30 meters from Tilganga to Sankhamul, 60 meters from Sankhamul to the confluence with Bishnumati, and 80 meters for the region from there. The area of the course must be vacant, while roads, parks and houses cannot be constructed there. But with the criteria being violated, the river has been encroached in several parts, which leads to the overflow of the river to the roads even with a heavy rainfall lasting a short period of time. According to a study conducted by the International Center for Integrated Mountain Development (ICIMOD), the open spaces around rivers had measured 0.11 square kilometers until 2010. However, the area reduced to 0.04 square kilometer by 2020. The encroachment has continued unabated from the public and also the federal and local governments. Despite such encroachment, regulating entity has not been able to take actions. While efforts were made to introduce clear policies and remove structures made along the river banks, they have not been implemented because of political pressure and influence. The government has prioritized corridor roads and parks in the river banks with high walls. Such structures have reduced the course of the river, because of which the rivers including Bagmati, Bishnumati, Manohara and Hanumante overflow during monsoon and inundate the human settlements. Despite the high-powered Committee for Integrated Development of Bagmati Civilization suggesting to build concrete structures by leaving 20 meters open space on either side of the rivers 16 years ago, it has not been implemented. The Supreme Court had directed to relocate the actual landless squatters by giving them alternatives and not to issue permits for construction of any structures in 40 meters on either sides of the rivers. In addition to the public, the government itself has been constructing roads, stadiums and parks among other structures by encroaching the river banks, but then complains about inundations. If we are to avoid losses of lives and properties because of floods, it is imperative to clear the river banks and let the rivers flow in their natural course. Prime Minister KP Sharma Oli, ministers and senior leaders of the ruling coalition have been saying that this government has no room for failure. However, at a time when the public are awaiting the common minimum program and the commitments of the government, the parties of the ruling alliance have yet to introduce their common program to ensure the success of the government. If the government is to raise hope among the public, it must ensure improvement in service delivery from government mechanisms at the earliest. While issuing directives to the secretaries, Prime Minister KP Sharma Oli had urged them to create an environment where the service seekers do not have to queue at government offices. Prime Minister Oli had directed to address the problems seen in distribution of passport and license, including the issues of the health sector. Before Oli, his predecessors and other ministers had also issued similar directives. However, improvement remains to be witnessed in government service delivery despite many such directives. This is also why the directive issued by the Prime Minister by calling a meeting is not adequate. The government shoulders the responsibility of reviving the economy and uplifting the economic status of the country. The government must address the failure in increasing capital expenditure. The government has prioritized existing development projects in the budget for the ongoing fiscal year. Identification of the causes for the delay of those projects and addressing the problems is the responsibility of the government. Grievances of construction businesses regarding not receiving their payment even after completing projects has existed for a long time now. Development projects must be concluded on time by ensuring coordination between government mechanisms and construction businesses. In addition to the construction businesses, the government is also responsible to address the grievances of farmers who have yet to receive chemical fertilizers and the dairy farmers who have not received their payment. The government has said that it is making preparations to introduce a common minimum program by identifying these kind of problems. The government must also include the topics identified in the 7-point agreement reached between Nepali Congress and CPN-UML, formulation of laws for implementation of federalism and concluding works related to transitional justice are also the responsibilities of the government. It must also formulate clear work plan to curb corruption and ensure good governance. The common minimum program must also clarify on the issues to be considered for amendment of the constitution as agreed between the two large parties of the coalition and ways to gain confidence of the opposition parties regarding the matter. Prime Minister Oli had directed to develop a clear draft of work plan within a month, perform to ensure the visibility of the government within 6 months and produce results within a year. For this to materialize, a common minimum program of the government would have facilitated the ministers. Failure to ensure delivery will not only raise questions on the essence of the government formed by the two large bodies of the parliament, it will also raise the questions on entire system. In our Public Voice segment, we've asked students who cleared their grade 12 tests what about their future plans. So let us now take a look at what they had to say.
सबै साथीहरु विदेश जाने भन्छन् तर म चाहिँ अहिले यही नेपालमै ब्याचलर लेभल पढ्ने प्लानमा छु।
अब ब्याचलर पढ्दै चाहिँ केही कामहरु पनि पाए भने काम गर्ने।
अब नर्सिङ चाहिँ पढ्ने विचार गरेको छु यही नेपालमै।
ब्याचलरमा चाहिँ मैले ब्याचलर इन कम्प्युटर एप्लिकेसन लिएर पढ्ने विचार छ।
आइएलटीएस को तयारी गरिरहेको छु अनि विदेश जाने कि अब विदेशमा गएर पढ्ने कि अब यही पढ्ने चाहिँ अब केही दिनमै डिसिजन हुन्छ।
आफ्नो पढाइलाई चाहिँ प्राथमिकता दिदै अझै त्यसलाई प्राथमिकता दिएर अझै बढाउँदै यही नेपालमै केही गरम भन्ने सोचले यही पढ्ने कि भन्ने सोचिरहेको छु।
नेपालमा बसेर खासै काम छ जस्तो लाग्दैन। म अब विदेशतिर जान्छु होला सोचेछु त हेरौँ परिस्थितिले अब के गर्छ।
विदेश जाने अब विदेश गरेर धेरै एक्सपिरियन्स लिएर नेपाल आएर चाहिँ के गर्ने सोच छ।
विदेश गएर ब्याचलर पढेर आउने चाहिँ सोच छ।
सरकारी कर्मचारी भएर देशलाई सेवा गर्न चाहन्छु र विदेशमा भएका मेरा साथीहरूलाई पनि यही रोजगारीको सिर्जना गर्न चाहन्छु।
कोरियन ल्याङ्ग्वेज सिकी कोरिया जाने विचार रहेको छ।
भिजा पासपोर्ट पनि मिलाउने अनि भिजा निस्केपछि विदेश जाने प्लानमा छु म।
म चाहिँ अब लोक सेवा पनि ट्राई गर्छु। बीबीए गरेर एमबीए गरेर यही एन्टरप्रेन्योर बनेर नेपालमै के गर्न चाहन्छु।
Nepali youth going to South Korea for employment through the employment permit system EPS have been swindled by Korean Air for the past 18 months. However, the government has not paid attention to the issue. Youth are having to pay exorbitant fares to Korean Air because of syndicate. Meanwhile, Nepal Airlines has not been able to manage flights to Korea.
Nepalese youths traveling to South Korea for employment have been paying one-way flight fare of $895 to Seoul. This is equivalent to 119,000 Nepalese rupees and higher than the two-way fare of $600 to $700 for New Delhi to Seoul and back. The migrant workers say they have been exploited in the name of direct flight.
हामी उताखेरि आउँदाखेरि यसको आधा पनि पर्दैन अनि यताबाट जाँदाखेरि डबल टिपर भाडा हो। यो त धेरै महँगो। उता पनि धेरै केटाहरूले यसको बारेमा कुरा गर्दै हुन्छन्, उताको एमबीसीसँग पनि भन्दै गर्छन्, तर यसको कुनै सुनै पनि हुँदैन।
अब यो त्यही त 815 त धेरै मार्का नि पर्छ हामी जस्तो श्रमिकहरूलाई। हामी जस्तो अब जुन विदेश जाने हैन, अब कोरिया भन्ने त अब राम्रै देश हो नि त हैन, त्यो अनुसार पनि त्यो हुन त नर्मली जस्तो लाग्छ, तर हेर्दाखेरि यसलाई चाहिँ एकदम गाह्रै छ।
Korea Airlines has been operating direct flights from Kathmandu to Seoul since January 2023. Considering the plight of the migrant workers, Nepal Airlines began the process of acquiring permit for flight to Seoul. However, that has yet to happen. Korea Airlines, meanwhile, has continued to reap the benefit. In the year 2023, more than 19,000 Nepali youths went to Korea through the Employment Permit System, EPS. There is also a potential for South Korean tourists traveling to Nepal. However, that aspect has yet to be explored by the government. Tourism entrepreneurs say the number of Korean visitors could increase if Nepal Airlines could operate a direct flight to and from Seoul.
नेपाल एयरलाइन्स जाने बित्तिकै त धेरै फाइदा हुन्छ यो त कोरियन एयर एउटा मात्रै डाइरेक्ट फ्लाइट हुँदा यो विद्यार्थी यहाँ काम गर्न जाने श्रमिक मात्रै हैन यहाँ समग्र नेपालको पर्यटनमै असर परेको छ एउटा मात्र एयरलाइन्स जुन अलिकति 7-800 सम्म राउन्ड ट्रिपमा पाउन सक्ने एयरलाइन्स हुन्थ्यो भने नेपालमा कोरियन पर्यटक प्रशस्त आउँथे जस्तो लाग्छ.
Parliamentary Committee has shown some interest in the exploitation of migrant workers with flight fares. On Thursday, committee members criticized the government for approving the call for overpriced fares and of being a mere spectator. Despite an aviation agreement with Nepal, South Korea has been raising question on the sector's safety issue. Officials of the Civil Aviation Authority Nepal have been calling for diplomatic efforts to lock permit for Nepal Airlines to fly to and from Seoul.
के सेफ्टी प्रब्लम छ कुनै टेक्निकल प्रब्लम छ भने चाहिँ तिमीहरुको यो प्रब्लम रिजल्भ गर त्यसपछि हामी उडान गर्न दिन्छौ होला उसको देशमा जहाज गएपछि उसको आफ्नो नेशनल कन्सर्नहरु जोडिएला नजोडिने भन्ने कुरा हैन त्यो कुरा हवाई सेवा संस्थाले पनि सम्बन्धित देशलाई अथोरिटी छ त्यो अथराइजेसन दिने कि नदिने भन्ने कुरा अथोरिटी छ तर त्यो अथराइजेसन रिफ्युज गर्ने अधिकार पनि छ तर त्यसको लागि के हुनु पर्यो लजिकल रिजन हुनु पर्यो के
यदि नेपाल एयरलाइन्सलाई कोरिया जान नदिने भने कोरियालाई किन दिने त्यो पनि रोक्नु पर्यो भनेर मैले चाहिँ त्यो रोक्ने डिसिजन गरेको थिइन यो गर्ने भने म त्यो प्रोसेसमा हुँदाखेरि मैले चाहिँ अब यो भन्नु पर्यो यो गर्न सकिएन यो कुरा पनि मलाई किन सकिएन भने समाज वातावरण देश सबै बुझ्नु भएको छ त्यो गाह्रो भयो भने तर यो चाहिँ यो विषय चाहिँ एउटा निर्भर हुने विषय हो मैले त भन्छ यसमा एकदम स्पष्ट भन्दाखेरि के हो भने यसमा बिजनेस मोटिभ छ अब यसलाई हामीले कसरी ट्याकल गर्ने हो डिप्लोमेटिकली ट्याकल गर्ने हो टेक्निकल ट्याकल गर्ने हो कि यो कुरा ट्याकल गर्ने विषय हो तर यो मोटिभ चाहिँ
Last month, the government called for companies to provide tickets for migrant workers heading to Seoul. However, the process workers say might not move forward as expected. The onus is on the government to stop remaining a mere spectator to the scenario while advocating for zero investment in foreign employment.
Now, farmers of Bhojpur have been generating good amount of revenue by farming fruits in land that had remained barren for years. The local farmers who had been facing several problems because of the exodus of youth for foreign employment have preferred fruits plantation. The attraction of farmers has increased towards fruits plantation as one time of plantation of fruits generates revenue for several years and such revenue is higher in relative comparison to other crops. Leasing more than 100 ropenis of land, Bhojpur Dragon Fruit Company had begun plantation of dragon fruits over 50 ropenis of land in Bhojpur Municipality, Ward number 12, Pipile. Having planted 8,000 plants, the company started generating revenue from the second year of plantation and aims to generate 1 million rupees in revenue this year.
हामीले यो ड्रागन फ्रुट खेती चाहिँ 50 रोपनी जग्गामा 2000 पिलरमा 8000 बिरुवा लगाएका छौं र यो दोस्रो वर्षबाट केही उत्पादन पनि लिन थालेका छौं र 2 लट उत्पादन लिइसक्यौं करिब 8 लाख जतिको यो वर्ष अनुमानित आम्दानी लिने हामीले अपेक्षा गरेका छौं.
Dragon fruit and lemon have been planted over 42 ropenis of land in Temkemaizung Rural Municipality, Ward number 8 of Bhojpur. Shambhu Nepal, who registered Danabot Fruits and Agriculture Farm 4 years ago, is now generating 700,000 rupees in annual revenue. Macadamia nuts and avocado are being planted over 30 ropenis of land in Chokimala of Pawadungma Rural Municipality, Bhojpur.
लगाए अनुसार सफल हुँदै गएको छ अहिले अब यो लेभलको भनेको अब सफल उन्मुखै भन्नुपर्ने हुन्छ सन्तोष छ.
Fruits are being planted over land that had remained barren because of lack of irrigation facilities and migration. The local farmers have quit traditional crops such as paddy, maize, wheat and millet and chosen cash crops including dragon fruit, orange, lemon, macadamia nut and kiwi among others. Such cash crops have also begun attracting the youth who previously wanted to pursue foreign employment.
धेरै जग्गाहरू अहिले खण्डहरुमा परिणत भएका छन्। नेपालका धेरै युवाहरू वैदेशिक रोजगारका लागि कतार, मलेसिया, खाडी राष्ट्रहरूमा चर्को परिश्रम गरिरहेका छन्। त्यसो भएको हुनाले यो ड्र्यागन फ्रुट यो नेपालको हावापानीमा अत्यन्तै सुटेबल देखियो र यो खण्डहर जमिनमा यो लाउने हो भने प्रशस्त पर्याप्त आम्दानी हुने रहेछ।
कहीं एभोकाडो होला, कहीं ड्र्यागन होला, कहीं चाहिँ दाँते ओखर फल्छ होला, किवी फल्छ होला। यी चीजहरु जमिनको उपयुक्तता हेरेर लगानी गर्ने हो भने विदेशको आम्दानी यहाँ गर्न सकिन्छ र घर परिवार सबै आफ्नै समुदायमा बसेर सब आम्दानी पनि हुन्छ, सामाजिक सम्बन्ध पनि कायम रहिरहन्छ।
The local residents are now of the opinion that commercial farming with proper understanding of the arable land can generate revenue equal to that from foreign employment. Such a practice can help Nepal grow independent in fruits and also create employment opportunities at home. Time now for our segment Public Pulse, where you text us with your opinion.
Public Pulse.
Before we ask today's question, let us take a look at the result from yesterday's poll. Yesterday we asked, why has the health insurance program not been effective? 56% were for A, complicated service delivery, 25% were for B, government not releasing funds, and 19% were for C, unaware service seekers. Here is our today's question. Why has the dispute between the government and the Nepal Electricity Authority intensified regarding the fees related to dedicated and trunk lines? Your options are A, NEA firm in its stance, B, government indifference, and C, influence of industries. Voting is on. Type NEWS, select your option A, B or C and send it to 34001. We have more news coming up, but right now it is time for yet another short break.
Sports news.
Iran secured a hard-fought 5-set victory over Sri Lanka in their match under the Kawa Women's Nations Volleyball League, which is played today. In the competitive match played at the covered hall of the National Sports Council in Tripurashwar, Sri Lanka suffered their second successive defeat of the tournament. Iran made a confident start in the match and won the first set 25-20 before brushing aside Sri Lanka 25-12 in the second set. However, Sri Lanka made a comeback in the third set, which was once tied at 16-all before winning 25-22. The island nation carried the momentum in the fourth set, which they easily won 25-13. The most competitive match of the ongoing tournament so far, they entered the fifth set, where Iran emerged winners with 15-11. With the win, Iran remained third in the standings. In the second match of the Kawa Women's Nations League played today, India humbled the Maldives in straight sets. Hosts Nepal play India in the first match slated for 1 p.m. tomorrow, while the Maldives take on Iran in the evening fixture. Paris Olympics has been hit by another major controversy as Algerian boxer Iman Khalif, alleged to be a biological male, defeated Italian boxer Angela Carini in a women's boxing bout within 46 seconds on Thursday. The incident has led to a heated debate on social media, drawing comments from high-profile personalities like Elon Musk and J.K. Rowling. That's all for now. Up next is the news in Nepali. Thank you for staying with us. Goodbye for now.